Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. At its recently held AWS DevSphere 2025 event in Bengaluru, AWS unveiled a new approach to develop software using generative AI, the AI-driven development lifecycle methodology designed to place artificial intelligence at the heart of software development. It also announced its AI native builders community, a peer-to-peer network of technology leaders united to share breakthroughs, avoid pitfalls, and accelerate the journey to AI native transformation. My colleague Ritu Singh caught up with Swami Sivasubramanian, VP of Agentic AI, on the sidelines of the event to talk about these new launches and more. Take a look.
It is an exciting time to be in the AI industry with the dawn of AI agents. Agentic AI is arguably one of the biggest transformation in the software industry since the dawn of internet.
Well, you've called agentic AI the most transformative change that we've seen since the dawn of the internet. That's quite the statement you're making. But what real business problems is Gen AI solving today, and how do you really distinguish between what's hype and what's reality on ground?
So one of the amazing things, since I have been talking to many customers in the past couple of days, and I see not just these agentic AI systems only being done by startups which are exploring new ideas, but also mainstream enterprises. Let me start off with actually an example of like Apollo Tires.
Okay.
They actually put AI agents in to solve something for the manufacturing with something called manufacturing reasoner.
Okay.
So now what essentially AI agents are doing is it is actually doing things like root cause analysis in the operations, and it is improving this RCA by 88%. So what used to take like 7 hours is decreased to less than 10 minutes.
Well, India is often seen as this digital growth engine, but how ready are Indian businesses to adopt Gen AI at scale? And also, what sort of gaps do you see, whether that is in infrastructure, data infrastructure, cloud maturity, or even digital talent?
First, the general problem in agentic era is that AI agent space itself is like very nascent. I mean, when you think about it, generative AI itself is a term that has been around only for 2 years, even though it feels like forever. So there is inherently now, there is a skills gap that exists. And this is an area where we have invested a lot in being able to actually get AI engineers to be ready. And this is where we also announced a new program where we are going to be training actually engineers, especially not just students, but also early career professionals to be AI ready. And we have a goal to the first year to train more than 2.7 million folks in the year one.
Well, I can't help but ask you, we've seen recently one of the largest IT companies in India, TCS, cutting off 2% of the jobs, not directly linked to Gen AI, of course, but because of the skill mismatch, so to speak. I want to understand, as Gen AI starts to solve more and more complex business problems, what sort of implications will that have when it comes to one job, and on the other hand, the cost structure of companies as well?
So it is now in such a world, then there are going to be actually changes in terms of how we do our day-to-day tasks in the business world. It can be like how a software developer builds systems to how a product manager actually does things, or a financial risk analyst does like underwriting or whatnot.
Yeah.
But now what you need in such a future world is actually for them to be AI ready, so that they know that in a world that they are actually going to be equipped to do things 10x faster, so that they can actually now be even more productive. That's why the programs like what I talked about on being able to be AI ready from the get-go, whether you're a student or whatnot, is super important. But it's not just about AI. In such a world, you also want everybody to be also cloud and AI ready. This is where even in 2017, we announced that we wanted to skill everyone in cloud computing by 29 up to 29 million people by 2025. And this year, we actually were able to surpass our goal and got to 31 million. And so the way you're going to enable and equip all of us in the future world is to be able to also be ready for this new era where the tools that we are going to use is going to change. And one of the things I always say is, when you look into when an era of this kind of massive transformation happens, and how to look at what is going to happen in the future, you got to be inspired by what happened in the past on similar such transformation. When the world moved from like manual switching or telephone networks to automated, or like when internet happened. We as humans fundamentally are creative problem solvers. And we transformed in terms of what we did, so that now we started operating at the next layer to solve the next set of creative problems. And this is going to be the same thing as long as we invest in solving that.
Well, if I just zoom out to what's happening globally, the fragmentation, the different regulatory policies and environments, the geopolitical conflicts, how is AWS navigating all of this, and how is it shaping your product pipeline?
I mean, the policy landscape is something we monitor closely, and this is something we look at what it means for our customers. But policy landscape always is something.
Or the
constant.
geopolitical landscape, the race for sovereign AI capabilities. I mean, for each nation to build that.
I mean, when it comes to sovereign AI, it is not just about policy issue alone, but when you think of actually, for instance, what in India, there are some leading large language model startups like Sarvam and others. What they are able to do is actually now customize some of these models to specific Indian languages and dialects, and being able to do. And this is where we as AWS are also now enabling them to equip them with the state-of-the-art technology. So, and this is something we are actually not just doing in India, but also around the world. And this is an important one that we as an industry are going to be doing this over and over.
Well, with that, it's a wrap from both Arundhati and me, Shruti, on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side.